when I read a book about NWA and they like Eazy-E was really one of them guys, I was one of the first conspiracy theorists that was saying like they had to kill Eazy-E. Ain't no way Eazy died that fast, just out of the blue. We needed more Eazy-E. I could have listened to Eazy-E for 20 more years. Ain't no way they took him from us just that fast.
Eazy-E was coughing. When he was standing on the corner straight slanging rocks, when he doing that running scene, he stopped at the gate and spit. You know what I'm saying? So it was something going on, but we thought it was bronchitis. Fast forward to, February, that bronchitis turned into HIV. HIV turned into full-blown AIDS, and he dead a month later. So you tell me. I don't know. Could somebody have stuck him with a needle when he went to the doctor? It's highly probable. You know what I'm saying? But how will we ever know? But I know one thing, all his children and his family, everybody good. So who knows? It was a 3-month process, too fast for anybody to do anything. On the other hand, look at the other one that had it, Magic Johnson. Got his proper medicines and all that stuff, still thriving to this day. You know what I'm saying? So who knows, man? These conspiracy theories could be real, but if you know anything about America, you can't put nothing past it.
So you feel like Eazy, he and died AIDS?
I feel like if it was, I haven't seen before or after nobody died that fast. It's out of the blue, man.
Yeah, that was suspect. I know I interviewed a lot of members from Bone Thugs, and they feel the same way. That, you know, something suspect happened. You ain't the only one that feel that way.
I'll tell you what happened with Eazy getting AIDS, and I believe this to this day, and I don't care if you guys got it on film, you could tell the world, they gave him tainted needles with acupuncture needles that tainted him and gave it to him because he got hurt in Honda Valley on quad runners, and he was riding quads, and what happened is that someone, I won't say the name, but people know the name. I don't want to say that name because it's a devil's name. But, you know, another person in rap, if you know your history of rap, calls him a devil. So if you know your history in rap or West Coast rap, you'll know who I'm saying.
To the day, ain't nobody gonna tell me Eazy-E died from fucking AIDS.
And nobody else came around.
The way that the government was on NWA back in the day, like they were trying to ban.
They were probably getting number one.
The government was trying to ban NWA.
Because they definitely would have fucked the police shit.
He's the goddamn CEO of that shit. Oh wait, we gotta get Eazy out of here, man. We're gonna invite him to the White House. He think he on some big fly shit. Hey, we're gonna get one of the motherfucking steaks. Put that shit up in there, baby. You say nothing, your ass out of here next week.
There's a conspiracy theory online involving Suge Knight.
Oh yeah, what's that?
There was this interview done with Suge. I don't remember exactly when it was, when he talked about how you got to kind of get creative in how you kill someone.
Fresh out of jail, I'll come check you out, right?
Right.
Why the bulletproof vest?
Oh, it's not. Oh no, that's just it's the new style. You've been in the can for a while. That's what all the talk show hosts are wearing.
This is a new thing, right?
Yeah.
See, if somebody gonna do something about it, see, technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they get blood from somebody with AIDS, and then they shoot you with it.
Oh, so that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An Eazy-E thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
An Eazy-E thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, like Suge and Eric were beefing, right? As you said, with Eazy. Conspiracy says that Suge Knight could have potentially been the person that gave Eazy AIDS through
How would he do that?
Through an intravenous needle.
And Eazy would never tell anybody.
But my chest hurt and then died of AIDS. You know what I mean? And it's like, what happened to HIV? What happened to actually, having AIDS and then deteriorating? Like my chest hurt and then you like something can happen.
Deficiency syndrome activist after his father's passing to learn about the disease and spread awareness and help those suffering from the ailment. The more he walked this path and obtained a wealth of knowledge about the disease, the more he had doubts about his father's passing.
associated with individuals who run it. And these individuals who run these organizations are getting me to come out here and paying me to come talk or flying me out the country are individuals who are living with full-blown, you know what I mean? And just hearing their story and catching up on the facts of what's what and what you can do and how you can live, I still didn't understand of how my father was attacked so fast from it.
Days later, Eazy-E got full-blown AIDS. Now, you got to think, Eazy-E was funking at this time with Dr. Dre and, you feel me, Jerry Heller. You know what I'm talking about? They was really funking. And the hospital he went to was, from my recollection, from what I was hearing, that the doctor was fucking with Dre and Jerry Heller. That was their doctor. You know what I'm talking about? So when he went to the hospital, all of a sudden he got full-blown AIDS. That's not possible. You feel me? This man is breathing, doing his thing. All of the chest was hurting. Nigga, we was smoking pounds. So we all was fucked. But he was just ready to cut and go home. When he did, he ended up going to the hospital and something happened in the hospital.
Suge tried to destroy my record company with the help of others, Dre. So right now we're getting everything back together and we finna come out, you know, fully loaded.
One day, Dre came in with Suge to my office in Hollywood and simply said they had left Ruthless, were starting their own company called Death Row Records.
It didn't go down like we were supposed to, and so Eazy had to be persuaded to make some moves to make things happen.
According to court papers, Suge and friends basically came in and told Eric and Jerry Heller Dre was leaving and they couldn't stop them, and that this was not just legal, it was physical, it was personal.
Dre was allowed to leave, but Eazy hung on to a percentage of Dre's earnings. A situation Suge Knight grew increasingly bitter about.
Hip-hop fans thought this guy could do anything. They thought he could kill Eazy-E. Eazy's son, for example, believes that this is true.
When Suge Knight appeared on Jimmy Kimmel's talk show, just days after being released from prison for assault, he seemed to acknowledge the rumors.
Once again, to go back to the full-blown AIDS, and you say you've seen people like that, you'll see that in their appearance, right? But with Eazy-E, he looked healthy and everything, right?
No, he was straight. He was straight, you feel me? I mean, you know, when you say full blown, that shit happens over years. You get HIV, then you get AIDS, and then shit progress if you ain't taking care of your shit. You know what I'm talking about? Like you're supposed to. Then that's how motherfuckers fall off the earth. But this nigga got full blown AIDS in 2 days? Impossible, my nigga.
I do think before we even get to the conspiracies and all the other theories surrounding his death, the first thing we should deal with is if he really had AIDS. So many people question if he had it.
He says he has no idea how he got the fatal disease.
So many people said that he looked so normal. He didn't look like he was dying.
Every person I know died with AIDS just disintegrated before they died. Eazy-E didn't do that.
And again, it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
For me, 25 years later, I still have not seen any medical records that literally have shown me my father did have AIDS. So it is still a big question for us.
Then, when Ebby later sought for his certificate, it was listed as pneumonia due to acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
I just pulled it out. I know you can't see it, but I'm just going to read it to you. So it says, immediate cause, pneumocystis carinii pneumonia due to acquired immune deficiency syndrome.
This begs the question, was this the altered certificate his son, Little Eazy-E, was speaking about?
You know, I never wanted to really do it. My sisters did, and again, you got forged signatures, you got doctors who can't find right now, you got, you know, certificates that were altered, you know what I mean? You got all kind of stuff, you know what I mean? So
Eazy-E's child mothers got into a legal battle with Tamika. and it alleged that the truth about Eazy-E's passing was being uncovered and was near being discovered.
The woman who married my dad ended up getting almost his entire multi-million-dollar estate. Not a lot of people know that my father married and drafted a will just days before his death.
That's all they got. I had a famous father. He left a fortune, but we didn't get it. You know, that's fucked up, you know? Something is crazy. Something is crazy about that to me.
Eazy walks up. Like, yo, what's happening? So we end up just talking for like 2 hours at the tunnel. We end up talking for like 2 hours, just talking about, because he was feuding with Dre and Death Row by then. So my little feud was like over and done.
Yeah.
He was talking about, yo, let's get the group back together. You think you could do it? I was like, yo, you work it out with Dre? Come holler at me. You know what I mean? And it didn't happen because a few months later he was sick.
Okay. Did you talk to him once he was sick? Or
I didn't get a chance to talk to him after that. You know, once I found out he was sick, I went down to the hospital, saw Dre there. Dre was just coming out. He was like, you know, he's not conscious right now. So I felt like it was no reason to go in there if he didn't know I was there.
See, Dre now works for somebody that used to work for him. And how he claims that Death Row is his, it's somebody else. It's a bodyguard that used to work for Dre. Dre now works for him. So he all screwed up.
Oh, okay. So in other words, it's like leave Eazy's album and
come over here, and then it was like a little threatening and a little everything. It got kind of serious. Where it got so serious with Dre, owed these people so much money that he burned his house down. He ended up getting shot because he owed money, and he got nothing but problems. You see all the other problems he having now. On the road, they canceled his tour. And
what about, was this something about one of his boys still in the van or doing a drive-by? Is that true?
They stole a van, supposed to be in Milwaukee, when they was on the road. I guess they jacked the van drivers for the van. And then Snoop was involved in a drive-by shooting.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. He out on bail right now.
Here's where the whole thing gets dark. There are claims that Snoop and Dre visited Eazy-E in the hospital before Eazy died. And many rap history sources allege that Dre was among the last people to see Eazy before his passing. This old Vibe magazine article says, on Friday, March 17, Dr. Dre, who's traded wicked insults with Eazy-E since the dissolution of NWA, paid a visit to Cedars-Sinai. Dre got in, he saw Eazy. Only he knows what, if anything, was communicated. By that time, the hospital switchboard had been blowing up for 2 days straight. And then 9 days later, Eazy died from complications related to AIDS.
You believe that Eazy-E was injected with AIDS?
Oh yeah, I think that's the only logical reason, my nigga. For real. You feel me? To get full blown 2 to 3 days, my nigga. Impossible.
The more time passed, the more suspicions arose about Eazy-E's passing. This became increasingly the case when it was found out that his girlfriend, who was pregnant with their child, Tamika Woods Wright, married Eazy-E while he was in the hospital and was given control of his estate.
Jerry, a tragedy. I understand there's some scuffling over the estate he left behind. Is that a fact?
It looks like there's going to be some legal problems involved with the estate.
Do I understand it correctly that $600,000 is missing from a certain account?
Well, I have read that.
You know, I asked the silly question to Tracy. I realize now as I contemplate that he did get married just shortly before he went into his final coma, did he not?
Yeah, yes, he did, and those parties are the only ones that signed on that account where they say money is missing.
You say so his wife that he married just in his death throes, she had control of that account with his money missing, allegedly?
That's correct.
That brought more problems of its own, with people now pointing fingers at her, the attorney Don Sweeney, and others who were in the hospital room. This was due to the fact that the marriage angle didn't add up if Eazy-E was paralyzed and unconscious, etc. As the doctor claimed since March 15th, then how could he have consciously made the decision of marriage and given his now wife control of the estate and signing the will, even writing the letter to the attorney read to the public? What's more, from loved ones' recollection, the marriage certificate didn't have Eazy-E's handwritten signature, but it was typed on.
So it's going to be a mess, Flo Anthony, a mess?
I think it's going to be a big mess. I understand that his wife, is also now in a power struggle, with the other principals in Ruthless Records. And shortly before he died, they had, closed off his offices. The police and other people did that so there wouldn't be any more stealing of files. They knew that files and funds were missing before he was declared dead. He was in a coma, though, 2 weeks and on life support prior to dying.
Jerry Heller, just remind us, if you will, how soon prior to his death did he marry on his hospital bed, on his deathbed?
Well, I was told that the marriage was consummated on the 26th, on the 24th, on the 14th? I'm not sure. It was 2 days before. I think it was 2 or 3 days before.
Was he already in the kind of dementia that HIV brings?
Well, I'm sure that's what people will be saying.
And that's what they're saying, that he was not of sound mind when he willed everything to this woman.
Lawyer is complicit in this case. That lady is complicit in this case. And some other people, yo. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, who knows? Wasn't nobody there. Wasn't nobody there, bro, to really know for sure. We know he couldn't write. He didn't sign the marriage certificate. We know that. His name is typed on it.
That the woman who married my dad ended up getting almost his entire multi-million-dollar estate, but his kids got next to nothing.
Apparently, they were at odds with Tamika because other than her family, it's alleged that the others only got $75,000 out of his $20 million plus fortune and then were cut off and not given anything.
All his kids, aside from Tamika's child, that they had together, don't financially benefit at all.
They don't
from
at
this
all.
estate.
Not at all.
At all.
At all.
I believe he was an early experiment in assassination because we know that the FBI and the CIA, they have very advanced means of disposing of people. They got injections, they got sprays, they got food, they got chemicals, they got all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of stuff. And I believe Eazy-E may have been an early experiment in assassination weapons.
And everybody around us been through. People been going through for years, but we was, everybody else was scared to put it on record. So we put it on record and said it how we wanted to say it, and everybody didn't pay attention to it till Holiday caught this Rodney King beating on tape. Then everybody's going, oh, that's why they did this song, F the Police, because everybody's putting us down for doing the song. The FBI was sending us letters, and, police was harassing us. Oh, so you the ones that did the song, F the Police. I ought to beat you a little, stuff like that. Now, since all this happened, everybody really paying attention.
What was it like dealing with law enforcement being the Fuck the Police group?
Well, it wasn't that bad when we made it. But once it got out there and then the FBI, that's what made it totally different. That's what made it big. Because the FBI sent us a letter that we can't say that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And then another agency sends them a letter, telling them that they can't do that because they are Fifth Amendment or whatever.
If you're cool, you know the center of attention at Washington's National Airport last night was that hot new rapper Eazy-E, whose rap is a little, well... And his biggest hit is so controversial the FBI protested. We couldn't broadcast it on a day.
The name of the record? The record, yeah. The Police.
Which is why you might not have guessed that Eazy-E, Eric Wright is his real name, would be among this group of well-off Republicans who paid $1,250 to become members of something called the Republican Inner Circle, who were waiting in line today to hear Law and Order man George Bush at a private members-only reception. You would have been surprised because Eazy-E's group is not exactly the voice of the establishment. So why was Eazy-E there? Mainly because he was invited. Like many Americans, he received a fundraising letter from Texas Senator Phil Gramm inviting him to join the elite inner circle for $1,000, of course. In a follow-up note, Senate Republican leader Bob Dole pointed out his fellow members would include Arnold Schwarzenegger and George Shultz. Eazy-E just sent in the money and was made an official member. Whatever else all this means, Eazy-E says he thinks it's cool, and it does seem to underline one truth that applies to politicians of both parties these days. If you've got the money, they've got the time.
Listen. Eazy-E.
We got an FBI letter. They sent the letter to Priority Records saying one guy was like, I'm, part of this department of the FBI, and we're very concerned with this record called Straight Outta Compton. You guys got a song on there called Fuck the Police, and we think this song could encourage, people to go against law enforcement and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And basically, we'd like it if you guys took it off the shelf and shit. And we're looking like, a letter? That's all you get? They're not going to come in here and try to fuck with us? Like, they're not going to, arrest us, cuff us, rough us up, none of that? And we're like, y'all scared over a fucking letter? Come back to South Central with us, Deal with the sheriffs down there, They do way more than give you a letter. In the next few weeks, we was looking like, oh, they about to hit us. And it never happened, so we was like, what's the issue? What's the problem? Why
So it was just that letter and that was it?
It was just that letter.
What the fuck now, they don't tell singers, okay, they can tell singers, well, you profiting off love or something like that, Movie makers, when you make a movie like Mississippi Burning, oh, you adding to the problem. Or, something like Roots that don't make everybody want to go out and get a slave. You know what I'm saying? So how can they tell us just because we doing the records we trying to capitalize? This is a capitalist
Really not. Just like this.
Capitalize.
They said you were encouraging it. Look at Michael Jackson. He got all these gangbangers behind him and shit. They don't fuck with him. Right?
Yeah.
I guess he capitalized.
Everybody got to talk about
too,
something,
right?
I can see that what we was talking about wasn't happening and wasn't true.
See, if you talk about like stuff like Jazzy Jeff or LL Cool J, don't nobody bother you, because they ain't talking about nothing. They talking, but they ain't saying nothing.
It's been reported in the press that the FBI are looking into the fact that maybe the record company Ruthless Records has been founded on money from drugs. Is there any truth in that?
Oh, shit.
So why are they looking into it then?
They have nothing else to do. I think they should be more worried about, the shit that we're talking about on our record than our records, They should be more worried about the streets and saving lives than worrying about, what NWA is doing or saying.
Yeah, and everybody knows what's up on the FBI anyway, so we don't need to go into that.
Now, if a white person walks up to Eazy-E and says, hey, nigger.
Depends on how you said it. Like, if you say, what's up, nigga, then that's cool. But if you just say, nigger, then I'm gonna take it different.
Why do you guys call yourself this word that has been?
We didn't give ourselves this name now.
But right now in society, you guys are calling yourself niggers a lot more than.
We didn't give ourselves that name. People have been calling us niggers for years, and so we carry that word. Right now, the word is like saying homeboy.
If you would sell your soul.
Everything you bringing up, he was there with me. and it's amazing. I remember that because it was like right at the tail end of the Wrecking Crew, right before NWA really got started. And I remember that question. I don't know who asked, but I remember it heard and I remember somebody answered. And I was just like, okay, all right. I don't know about you or whoever. I don't know nothing about this, so I wouldn't sell my soul. I don't know nothing about it, but that don't sound right.
Were other people in the group saying that they would sell their soul?
Somebody said it.
Someone said they would sell their soul.
Somebody said
to the devil for fame and fortune.
Somebody said it.
Whatever that means in their own mind.
Yeah, but I know, I remember saying, nah, I don't know about all that.
Dre basically made Ruthless Records. He did the music, he probably the one who, knew how to work with the artists, and it must have been him and Eazy's company together. And then when Eazy met Jerry came in and ex Dre out and say, I'll give you a little bit more money. We just use Dre basically as a slave.
They had the worst contracts I've ever seen in the history of the record business. The contracts that Ruthless and Jerry Heller had with NWA and Dre, I guess if I said draconian, that would be a kind word.
In the process of having a number of conversations with Doc and Dre, the question came up about how can we be assured that we're going to get paid in the future? Dick said, look, Dre, if you can make records the way you make records, I'll show you how to start a company. You won't have to worry about people paying you. You'll have a company that you own and control.
I suggested that, why don't you guys go and talk to Eazy and see if you can make a deal where Dre continues to produce Eazy. For Ruthless, he continues to produce NWA and the other acts.
I was consulting for Ruthless for Eazy-E, working through Jerry Heller. One day, Dre came in with Suge to my office in Hollywood and simply said they had left Ruthless, were starting their own company called Death Row Records.
Guys, I had no idea that you make money off product from Dr. Dre and Snoop. Now, how did that work out?
Basically, I had Dre signed as exclusive producer and exclusive artist. So when Dre tried to make his deal over at Interscope, you know, I was included for the next 6 years. So you can say all you want to say. Basically, you could diss me all you want, but I'm going to get paid. 'Cause that's why I say Dre Day is only Eazy's payday. And that's real.
Did Cube and Dre show up at the hospital?
They all showed up at the hospital, yeah.
Okay, you showed up at the hospital?
Yeah, I went to the hospital too. Dre came a little bit before me, an hour or so before me.
Okay.
And Cube made it came earlier that day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you guys didn't actually...
No, we didn't see each other, no.
Interesting.
Oh,
yeah. Was he still talking?
Nah, when I seen him, he was already in a coma. Or not coma, they put him in a coma.
He was the only member in NWA to actually go to Eazy's funeral.
He was. But Yella, as far as NWA, yeah, he was the only one. It was other people that was on Ruthless that were there. But as far as NWA specifically, he was the only person there, yeah. That's weird and it's crazy. And it could be the area. I'm gonna give him an excuse to say because of where the funeral was, it wasn't the most ideal place to pop up and show up at. Because it's in a gang territory, right? It was first AME church, and it's in the Rolling 20 Bloods. And they whole hood came to the funeral. Let me just tell you that. Like they was really respectful though. They were super respectful. They know Eazy was a Crip. They know probably most of the people who was gonna show up coming from his neighborhood, and his friends was gonna more likely be Crips. They was super duper respectful, bro. But I could see that deterring people coming into that area though. I could see that. So I'll give them that excuse at the most. You know what I mean? But yeah, they didn't come.
Eazy-E was one of my favorite rappers growing up, and I'm right with Trick Daddy when he said he could have listened to Eazy for 20 more years. He definitely had a few more classic albums in him and passed away while he was still fiercely relevant. But when you really look at how everything went down, his situation was so messy, and there are definitely a few things that make you think twice. Take Ice Cube, for instance. Being somewhat of a conspiracy theorist, you'd think he might entertain the idea that Eazy could have been injected with the virus. But it seems like he consistently shoots that idea down whenever it's brought up. Maybe it's just for safety reasons. Ice Cube is a smart dude, and he knows that if the government sent letters or kept tabs on them back then, there's a huge possibility they were being watched or even plotted against. Another thing that's weird is Dr. Dre and Cube visiting Eazy in the hospital. It's strange because they were on good enough terms to show up at his bedside, yet neither of them went to the funeral, which makes you wonder if some funny business went down at the hospital behind closed doors. When you look at patterns of behavior, it also seems like Dre doesn't really do forgiveness. Just look at how his daughter was left struggling while his name was blasted everywhere for being a billionaire. I love Dre. He's a true West Coast legend, but we can't ignore the character flaws. To make the web even more tangled, declassified FBI files later revealed an entirely different layer of menace that rarely gets mainstream attention. The Jewish Defense League connection. According to Bureau records, the extremist group was running a widespread shakedown ring targeting major rap moguls and artists, including both Eazy-E and Pac, by issuing terrifying death threats and then turning around to offer protection for a massive fee, meaning Eazy was operating under intense, high-stakes external pressure during a time when his life and empire were already spinning out of control. Then there's the wife situation, which is completely questionable. If I'm not tripping, they said he got married right around the time he was in a coma, which is entirely suspicious, saying his signature was typed, a detail that should easily be rejected or debunked in court. But somehow she was able to maintain absolute control and rob Eazy's kids of what was rightfully theirs. When you stack all of these pieces together, it's easy to see why Eazy-E's death remains one of the most heavily scrutinized tragedies in hip-hop history, proving that the vultures were circling long before he took his last breath. Before we wrap this up, a massive shout out to everyone everyone who took the time to read, reflect, and lock in with this deep dive. Because hip-hop history isn't just about the music we grew up on. It's about the real-life stories, the heavy unanswered questions, and keeping the truth alive for the legends who paved the way. Thank you to all the true supporters, the West Coast heads, and everyone who keeps these critical conversations going. Because Eazy-E's impact will never be forgotten, and neither is the community that still cares about his legacy today. Stay curious, protect your peace, and peace.